There's 3 phases in a player turn: move, play, and draw. So the first phase is movement. You can move your orphan 1 to 2 spaces. So 1 or 1, 2. It's important to note also that when you let your hand off of it, that's where you are. You can't take it back.
It's a done deal, baby.
No take backs.
If you play a card, oopsie, it's a done deal. This is like chess, but more serious because there's lives at stake. Brian is correct. 1 or 2 spaces. And he cannot go diagonal. So it's 1, 2, however you want to do it. So, second thing about the movement, it is optional.
Yes.
You do not have to, Brian, if you want to skip that phase, are you going to skip that phase?
I'll just hang out on the beach. I'll just kick back.
Why are you forcing Brian to leave the beach?
That's not cool.
Yeah, leave the big man alone. Now, another thing about the move phase, besides the fact that it's optional, is you can backtrack. Let me explain why. Let's talk about, right now, at the very beginning of my turn, if I want to, I can go 1, 2. Now, this is stupid, but the rule still applies. Why? Because if I play a card that lets me move Brian 3 spaces and I want to get him right here, I can go 1, 2, 3, and I got him right where I want him. So you'll find some of the math of moving players 4 spaces and 3 and 2 spaces. You're going to start getting all cattywampus to make sure you get them right where you want to. We didn't mean to throw math on you, but that's sometimes how it goes.
Yeah.
Phase 2. Now, in this phase, we're going to talk about the amount of cards you could play. We're going to everything you can do in that phase, and most importantly, we're going to talk about that phase being an option. Just like your movement phase, you do not have to play. You could skip right to phase 3, but since we're on phase 2, let's talk about it. I could continue playing as many cards as I want as long as I have cards to play, which means I could even steal one from Fat Boy over here, and I can keep on playing if I want to. So, here's an example of what I'd want to do. You know what? I'm not gonna move because I want to stay where I'm at, so I'm gonna skip my movement phase.
You're a madman.
I am a madman. Now I'm going to play my first card. Safety in covers. All players not in a town space must discard 3 from their option deck. So I'm going to play this card face up. Now all players not in a town, which is Brian, must discard. Notice what Brian is doing. He is discarding face down. He is doing this for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason is because I said so and I wrote the rules. The second reason is because we don't want players to know what he just discarded. There's only one something wicked card in this game, for example. He might have discarded that for all either of us know. We don't want to give away our cards. So cards that are discarded always go face down. And the important note is you can't choose to discard. I forced him to do so. On my turn, I can't say, ooh, I don't want to play this, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I'm going to discard it. You cannot do that. A player must play, and a player is forced to discard. Did I say that right?
Play cards face up, discard face down.
So nice.
So easy.
Now,
hold on. The other thing, if no players are in a, like if I have a card that I can play for the beach, nobody has to be there for me to play it. I can still play that in my hand. I just have to play it face up, even though it doesn't.
Right, because that has
anyone.
been some confusion. Well, I can't play this card because I'm not in an open field. It doesn't matter. You could still play in a card. It just doesn't affect any one player.
It just essentially wastes it, but at least everyone knows it was there.
Because I have this card that says everyone in an open field must take off all their clothes. Well,
Please
I can
don't
play
play
it,
that.
but nobody's there. So it is okay. If you got to play, you got to play. It just doesn't affect anybody. But you can't choose to discard.
Yes.
That's that. Now, to continue my turn, I could then move any pawn 2 spaces. So I would play this face up, and now I'm going to move myself 2 spaces, where I will play a third card. Still up to 3 cards for another player that I'm sharing the same space with, and I am. So I would play this. That is you. Now I'm going to yoink. Now, if I wanted to, I can continue playing. So let's say I played something, moved somebody else, played something, let me steal. I can keep on comboing these cards until somebody stops me because I'm a madman.
Because he's crazy. Crazy. All right, so the third phase is the draw phase, and this one is not optional.
Not an option!
That's very enthusiastic. So each player at the end of their turn must draw 2 cards.
They must. They must out there, people. They must draw 2 cards when 2 are available. Now, Brian just drew 2 from here, but we're going to put this back. Put them back. Now Brian's going to draw 2 from here because they are available to do so.
And it's worth noting that these do not ever go into your hand. They go straight onto the table.
Straight to the Cove. Now put this back, Brian. Okay. Stop cheating people. Now he's going to draw 1 from here and 1 from here. You have to draw 2. Now let's say These were all out on the board already. Now, he has to draw the 2 from here. Why? Because they're available and they're not available here. So now he's going to burn through these twice as fast.
What happens when I'm down to 1 card and I can't draw 2?
Well, then there's not 2 to draw, so you're still safe because there is 1 card there to draw. So you draw 2 as long as there's 2 available. Until then, you draw what's available.
And it's also worth noting that if I go to draw and there's nothing here, I lose.
And by that, he means the boogeyman devours him bit by bit and piece by piece. Now, let's say you could avoid somehow or another not having to draw. When your turn ends and it is the draw phase, if you were reading this mat, you're done. It doesn't matter if you could avoid it during your draw phase. If there are no cards here, you're